Welcome to Middle Class Matters Business News in English from Dr CMA Alagesan on CAG Audit Report number 19 of 2023 on Bharatmala pariyojana scam of rupees 7,50,000 crores in road projects of Government of India. Chapter number 6 Execution of Projects Part number 29 continued. While approving BPP-I, CCEA directed that award of the projects need to be completed within 2 years of sanction of the Bharatmala pariyojana, while all project construction should be completed within 5 years of sanction of Bharatmala pariyojana. It further directed to minimize scope for time overrun and cost overrun in these projects. Audit observations on execution of 66 projects reviewed are as follows. 6.1 Land Management. While proposing the Bharatmala pariyojana, MORTH apprised September 2017 CCEA that based on lessons learned from NHDP, it has been made mandatory to avoid projects only after ensuring availability of 90% right of way in EPC projects and 80% right of way in case of private public partnership projects. MORTH, while its standard operating procedure December 2017 reiterated the above stand apprised to CCEA. Audit while reviewing the land array management under BPP-I yet by NHAI, NHIDCL and road wing of MORTH observed the following. 6.1.1 Condition pertaining to availability of 90 to 80% right of way. 1. Distinction between EPC and public-private partnership projects. There was no basis available on record for prescribing two different benchmarks for award of projects, that is availability of 90% or 80% right of way for EPC or public-private partnership projects, when non-availability of requisite right of way would equally impact the progress of EPC or public-private partnership projects. MORTH replied in April 2022 that two different benchmarks of 90% and 80% availability of land in EPC and public-private partnership projects respectively were as per model request for proposals. It further stated that in the case of public-private partnership projects, implementing agencies have excess 150 days in fixation of appointed date and fulfilling of condition precedent, including transfer of right of way. Reply of MORTH is not germane to the point made, as it did not furnish any rationale for the availability of 90 or 80% right of way for different modes of constructions. Model request for proposal refers to model agreements only, whereby availability of 90 or 80% right of way has been stipulated for fixation of appointed date and not award date. It thereby, instead of explaining any rationale for fixing different threshold of right of way availability before award of project for different modes of construction, further diluted the directions of CCEA in regard to availability of right of way before award date, as appointed date was an event that comes much after award date. Further, MORTH contention that excess 150 days were available in the case of public-private partnership projects in fulfillment of conditions precedent as compared to EPC projects also applies to appointed date and not the award date. Also, in the model request for proposal, in spite of land availability being sensitive state issue, ensuring land availability has been made a condition precedent to fixation of appointed date rather than ensuring its availability before award of project, thereby increasing project risk, the extent of which was more in public-private partnership projects. This aspect was further aggravated by the fact that in the case of public-private partnership project, concessionaire was absolved from its scope of work commensurate to right of way not made available to it within 180 days of appointed date. To EPC or concession agreement clauses pertaining to right of way. As per EPC agreements and concession agreements, HIM or BOT, the requirement of minimum requisite right of way 90 or 80% has been deferred up to fixation of appointed date. In case of EPC projects, the timeline limit for fixation of appointed date was open-ended, while in case of public-private partnership projects, the appointed date could take place up to 8 months from the date of agreement, and this time limit could be further extended by implementing agencies by paying the prescribed contractual damages. In practice, either damages were not being levied or mutually waived off, as seen in the case of, for example, sample projects test checked. Chittoor Malavaram, Kajwala Bongalbag, Manabo Tenot, Vadodara Mumbai Expressway, Phase 1A, Package 5, wherein both NHAI and concessionaires were at fault in fulfilling their condition precedents, but still no commensurate penalty as per each party's default in fulfilling its condition precedent was laid, as the same was waived off mutually. Concessionaires were foregoing their claims for damage on NHAI due to it not providing requisite right of way, and NHAI on the other hand was foregoing its claims for concessionaires not fulfilling their obligations under the agreement. Further, even after fixation of appointed date and in spite of deficient performance of the contractors or concessionaires, injunctions were observed whereby no damages could be levied on the contractors or concessionaires due to implementing agency not providing requisite right of way even after appointed date. If the damages were to be levied on the contractors or concessionaires for slow progress or performance and non-adherence to contractual provisions, then it would invariably raise counterclaims on the implementing agency by using the handle of non-handing over of requisite right of way and resultant idling of man and machinery, leading to eventual litigation. Hence, the precondition of right of way, which was to be ensured before the award of the project, was diluted in the agreements by stipulating that right of way be provided up to the appointed date, and that too could be further compromised by mutual waiver or by levying damages. It ultimately impacted project progress, as discussed later in this chapter. MORTH did not furnish reply to the audit observation. 3. Benchmarking of contiguity of right of way. Except in case of EPC agreements, it was not defined anywhere in all public-private partnership projects as to how much minimum continuous right of way and not fragmented patches of small length which could effectively lead to unworkable right of way. From contractors' logistics and commercial prudence point of view should constitute 80% benchmark, as handing over of fragmented right of way would hinder the progress of road construction. MORTH did not furnish reply in the audit observation. 4. Mechanism to get the work completed where right of way not provided. There were no established provisions or mechanisms to get the project completed in case the balance right of way of 10 or 20% was not made available to the contractor or concessionaires during the construction period. In fact, in case of HIM projects and BOT toll projects, if the implementing agency was unable to provide complete right of way within 180 days from the fixation of appointed date, the remaining site of the project highway has to be removed from the scope of the work, as a result of which a project could be declared complete based on the reduced scope, although it remained incomplete as per original scope of work. In case of 4 sample HIM project, Chittoor Mallavaram, Paniala More Narulla Pass, Kancheri Package 1, Kanchula Bohal Bagh and Mona Tant, audit observed that neither the availability of right of way could be ensured for a period ranging from 478 days to 853 days from the fixation of appointed date of these projects, nor the proportionate work was de-scoped. This resulted in issuance of only provisional completion certificates to the concessioners of these projects after the above said period, and completion certificates for these projects were issued with delay after acquiring right of way later on. MORTH replied in April 2022 that in the case of Paniala More Narala Pass, the project has been completed in all aspects and completion certificate already issued. In respect of Chittur Malavaram Kajiola projects, no reply was furnished by MORTH. Reply of MORTH may be viewed in light of the fact that for Paniala More Narula bypass project, it did not justify that due to non-handing over of requisite right of way, the completion certificate had to be deferred, as the provisional completion certificate for the project was issued on 9th January 2021, whereas the completion certificate was issued only on 31st December 2021. 5. Availability of right of way for corridor or stretch level as a whole. Land availability was being viewed with reference to specific project at micro level and not for the corridor or stretch as a whole at macro level, as no mechanism was prescribed or developed by MORTH to deal with the instances where despite availability of requisite right of way for the project, BPP-I objective of origin destination connectivity along with seamless movement of freight and people on the stretch or corridor remained deferred due to non-availability of intermediary or adjoining right of way of intermediary adjoining connectivity. In this regard, audit observed that in respect of upgradation of existing single lane to two lane with paved shoulder in Monobot Tanat project, design chainage was kept from 0 km to 46 km and kilometer 82.6 to kilometer 310.467. Chainage from kilometer 46 to 82, length of around 36.6 km was kept out of the scope of the project as the same was falling in a declared desert national park for which wildlife clearance was pending. Thus, despite the project achieving its completion on 21st August 2020, the objective of seamless connectivity was deferred due to intermediary length of around 36.6 kilometers still being single lane pending its requisite clearance till date, and Aurangabad Dola economic corridor to be upgraded to 4 lanes with a length of around 161.6 km was split into 4 packages, that is Aurangabad to Karodi length of around 30.44 km, Karodi Telwadi length of around 54.36 km, Telwadi Bododo Autam Ghat section around length of 14 km and Budara Dule around length of 62.8 km. 4 laning where work on first 2 packages has achieved completion in this February 2022 and July 2022 respectively. But Bodra Dule section has achieved physical progress of 41.54% up to 31st March 2023, while the work on Delwadi Budara Ghat section could not be awarded till 31st March 2023 due to project alignment and related issues. Hence, insufficient progress on length of 76.8 km would lead to non-optimal utilization of the complete corridor length of around 161.6 kilometers. Other sample projects where complete corridor or stretch could not be developed due to pending acquisition of right of way in different packages of corridors or stretch has been discussed in detail in para 3.3 of the report. MORTH did not furnish reply to the audit observation. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, please share to your friends and relatives, which will enhance the knowledge on how our tax payment money is being utilized or swindled by these politicians, bureaucrats and the contractors and access. Thanks for watching.